Mark Rudolph. He's the media commentator and Newsmax columnist. He's also the author of the book, The Keystone of Corporate Agility. Now, the president and his legal team are still pushing forward with lawsuits contesting the election results in multiple states, but the president's comments may be a disappointment to those who wanted to keep fighting. We've also had Republican North Dakota Senator Kevin Dramer defended President Trump the night of the challenge. But what do you think the president should be doing right here? He can't satisfy the media, but what do you think the right course of action should be at this point?
Well, I think the president is taking the right course of action. But the big problem in the Republican Party is the amount of members of that party who cave easily. In Ted Cruz's recent book, One Vote Away, he said when he was involved in Bush v. Gore, and he said when it comes to recounts, Democrats typically win those recounts because they cheat, and Republicans typically throw in the towel early. And why is that? It's because they're a bunch of wimps. And I have a list here: Romney, Toomey, Kramer of North Dakota, Cornyn, Risch of Idaho, Mike Raines of South Dakota, even John Roberts of the Supreme Court. Why are men such wimps, Republican men? And here's the answer: because most men are conservative and most women are liberal. So the likelihood that a Republican man is going to end up with a liberal woman is very high. And her friends are liberal. So she's going to come to the woman and say, if your husband continues to support Trump, we're dumping you out of our social circle. She goes to her husband and she says, if you don't dump Trump, I'm dumping you. And that's what's really going on here. Trump has not conceded anything. He has stood up. He's fighting. Most Republicans are good at bloviating and pontificating and terrible at fighting. Trump is a fighter. And that's what's really happening. So if you look at the Republicans who stand up and fight forever, they have conservative wives who stick with them. And that's why so many Republican men cave.
Well, to that point, you talk about President Trump still fighting. It seems, again, the media, President Trump is damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. One minute they're saying that we basically don't have a country anymore and that they're going to have to find ways to drag President Trump out of the White House. The next day, President Trump is saying that obviously he will honor the decision of the Electoral College, and yet he still can't seem to get the media to get off his back. Obviously now to the point where you've got Andrew Cuomo having to defend him against these ridiculous, baseless attacks from the press. What do you say, again, to the people at home who really want to make sure that President Trump gets a fair shake?
Well, if you're waiting for the media to give it to Trump, you're wasting your time. It's not going to happen. So Trump is going to fight, and he has some strong Republicans behind him, and he has a lot of people behind him across America. That's never going to change. But what I think is so silly about Republicans is they're always hoping that Democrats are going to apologize, that they're going to become reasonable. This is futility. It's not going to happen. So just watch what Trump does. He's not conceding, he's still fighting, and he's not giving up until he has to. That's what everybody should do in life.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have to get back to you soon.
Absolutely.
All right.